One stolen password can open your whole network. What if you assumed nothing was safe? Imagine an attacker using a single stolen password to roam your network. They find file servers, admin portals, and unpatched systems almost by accident. That old castle and moat thinking hands them keys once they pass the edge. Today, perimeters are gone. In this video, we'll flip the script to a model that verifies every request, every device, and every user. And we'll show concrete steps you can take next. Zero Trust treats every access attempt like it comes from an open internet. Location no longer grants you trust. Identity, device health, and risk signals decide access. Think of identity as the new perimeter. This is not a single product you buy. It's an ongoing program that stitches identity, endpoints, network controls, and telemetry into one decision loop. And next, we'll unpack the core principles that make that loop work. The perimeter model worked when apps lived in a data center and users sat at desks. That world vanished. Apps now run in multiple clouds, users connect from coffee shops, and attackers use stolen credentials, not sledgehammers. Once inside a legacy network, attackers move laterally, like guests with a master key. Data shows credentials keep enabling breaches. So we need controls that stop lateral movement at every step. Coming up, the first tenet. Least privilege means users and machines get only the access they need. Grant roles narrowly. Use just-in-time elevation for admins. Rotate and vault service secrets. This reduces what an attacker can steal and what they can do with it. Implement role-based and attribute-based rules tied to device posture. Start small on high-value accounts and expand. Next, we'll show how trust is rechecked continuously, not only at login. Continuous verification treats trust as temporary. Enforce phishing-resistant MFA and consider passwordless keys. Check device posture, OS version, encryption, endpoint detection. Monitor risk signals like impossible travel and unusual data access. If something changes, step up authentication or pause the session. This keeps access aligned with real-time risk. The control doesn't stop at authentication. Next, we segment the environment to reduce blast radius. Microsegmentation slices networks and applications into isolated zones. Allow only specific flows between segments, based on identity and service needs. Control east-west traffic so a compromised host can't roam. Apply segmentation at network, host, and application layers with service mesh or SDN. Start with your crown jewel workloads and tighten lanes. This keeps incidents local. Up next, treat breach as inevitable and instrument systems to detect and respond fast. Assume breach. Operate like an intruder already lives inside. Log identity events, network flows, and endpoint telemetry centrally. Use SIEM with behavior analytics to spot anomalies. Automate responses to quarantine devices, revoke tokens, and block risky sessions. Encrypt sensitive data in transit and at rest. Fast detection and automated containment become the safety net when prevention inevitably fails. Coming next, a step-by-step access example that ties these ideas together. A user at home opens an internal HR app. The IP asks for a phishing-resistant method, like a hardware security key. The access engine checks device posture, role, recent anomalies, and location. Policy allows access only to the app, issuing a short-lived token. No full tunnel VPN opens. Signals keep monitoring the session. If posture degrades, the session pauses and asks for re-authentication. Notice how trust never becomes permanent. Next, we'll see real breach-stopping stories. Example 1. Compromised VPN credentials used to be a disaster. In legacy setups, one password opened the network. With ZTNA, those credentials yield only a policy-check session to a specific app, and only if device and risk checks pass. Attackers find far fewer doors. This small change alone prevents broad visibility and lateral movement. Next story, ransomware hitting a finance workstation. In a ransomware attack, traditional flat networks let malware jump from one host to many. With microsegmentation and identity-aware policies, the malware hits a single workstation and stops. File servers and critical services stay protected behind strict lanes. Automated rules can isolate the infected host immediately. The business impact shrinks from enterprise outage to contained incident. Next, a vendor compromise scenario that shows least privilege in action. A contractor's credentials get hijacked. Under legacy access, that account could touch many systems. Under least privilege, the account only reaches a specific maintenance portal. Monitoring flags strange data queries and the session is cut. What could have been a major breach turns into a short investigation. Small, precise policies stop big consequences. For scale, look at Google's Beyond Corp approach. Next, we'll translate these ideas into board-friendly benefits. Zero Trust reduces breach likelihood and damage. It improves user experience with app-specific access, removes clumsy VPNs, and enables passwordless login. Audits get easier with centralized identity and logs. Mergers and cloud migrations become smoother because policies follow identities, not network topology. Executives like lower exposure and predictable costs. But myths and mistakes slow adoption. Up next, we'll debunk the common traps that stall real progress. Don't fall for myths. Zero Trust is not trusting nothing, and it is not a single product. Avoid big bang rollouts that disrupt users. Ignore user experience and you'll create shadow access. Treat machine identities like first-class citizens, not afterthoughts. Start with one high-value use case and prove it. Next, we'll walk a practical roadmap that shows incremental moves with measurable outcomes. Roadmap Step 1. Inventory your users, devices, apps, and crown jewel data. Map high-risk access paths and privileged accounts. Step 2. Fix identity. Centralize identity with a modern IP and enforce MFA, prioritizing phishing-resistant options. Implement conditional access by group and device. These early wins reduce exposure quickly and set the stage for app protection, which we'll cover next. Next, protect top apps with ZTNA and reduce legacy VPN scope. Issue short-lived, app-specific tokens. Harden endpoints with EDR XDR. Enforce encryption, patching, and register devices with MDM. These steps turn risky broad access into narrow, verifiable sessions. After stabilizing identity and endpoints, you can move to targeted microsegmentation without chaos. Coming up, how to segment where it matters most. Microsegment critical workloads first. Implement identity-aware policies between services and consider a service mesh for cloud-native apps. Remove legacy wide-open rules and monitor east-west traffic. Instrument telemetry by centralizing logs in SIEM and adding UEBA. Automate playbooks to revoke tokens and quarantine devices. Pilot these controls in one business unit and measure results. Next, we'll cover governance and communication to lock in gains. Pilot a single business unit or app, track KPIs, and iterate. Set clear access standards and review exceptions regularly. Train users and admins. Explain the why to build buy-in. Align progress to a maturity model like CISA to show measurable steps. Governance turns pilot wins into enterprise programs. Next, we'll walk through the tooling categories you actually need, explained in plain language. You don't need every product immediately. Focus on categories, an IDP for identity, ZTNA for app access, EDR and MDM for endpoints, PAM for privileged access, CASB and DLP for SAS and data, CIEM for cloud entitlements, and SIEM UEBA for detection. Secrets management rotates keys and vaults service credentials. Integration is the real multiplier. Choose tools that share signals and enforce consistent policy. Next, we'll define KPIs to prove progress. Measure what matters. Track MFA coverage, percent of apps behind ZTNA, and reduction in standing admin accounts. Monitor device posture, time to patch critical vulnerabilities, and segmentation coverage. Watch mean time to detect and contain suspicious activity. Tie these metrics to business outcomes, fewer incidents, faster audits, and improved user satisfaction. With data in hand, you can expand confidently. Finally, let's scan the trends shaping the next phase of Zero Trust. Watch these trends: passwordless FIDO2 adoption, continuous access evaluation for real-time session risk, identity threat detection specifically for IDPs, and stronger workload identity for cloud-native services. Expect data-first policies that follow files across clouds and deeper convergence of Zero Trust with SASE offerings. Also plan to extend principles to OT and IoT environments. The journey keeps evolving, and now is the right moment to begin implementing these changes. If this helped, Like and subscribe for more clear security guides. Comment one small zero trust step you'll try this week.